I'm wondering how you're all feeling today. There's a lot going on in the universe. We have 5 planets in retrograde. We just passed the Lionsgate portal and a full moon in Aquarius. And we have eclipses coming up in 2 weeks. And I haven't even looked to see if we are dealing with solar flares or anything like that. I just know last week was very intense. I know I had bouts of anger I was dealing with, and some lows, highs and lows last week. And then right the day before the Lionsgate on 8/8, I woke up and it was like I could hear the ocean in my ears. It didn't stop until the day after Lionsgate, which would have been yesterday. But then I woke up today kind of feeling that again, kind of hearing that again. So there's some interesting things, energies going on. I was watching an energy update on YouTube from somebody that I follow, and he was talking about how August is going to seem like 2 months in one. And I'm like, yikes. And he talks about like what the themes of the month are, and he usually has like 6 or 7 of them, and I don't really remember what they were exactly, but it was just very interesting and gave you a lot to think about. And that's kind of why I do these topics of the week, to see maybe what we need to deal with weekly, just to help us out with everything that's going on in the world. So if you've never seen me before, my name is Crystal from the Crystal Center of Healing. I have lots of labels. I'm an empath. I'm a psychic medium. I do pendulum readings. I can do tarot cards. I'm like a jack of all trades kind of person. As far as work goes, I used to do IT. I did IT for over 25 years. It's like 2 years ago now I got my bachelor's in behavioral science. So I'm kind of on the counselor path now. So I like watch everybody's behaviors. So let's work on getting the theme for the week that we need to deal with. So I'll shuffle my mantra deck and see what the universe wants us to work on this week or reflect about. I'm at the age now that I do reflecting all the time. I'm an empty nester at this point. My son's 21. And things come up daily about, oh, Crystal, maybe you should look at this. What did you learn from this situation? I'm like, okay, we'll take a look. I actually learn a lot. It helps me let go of things that I don't even think about anymore. It's over with. I'm reflecting. I'm thinking about the lessons I learned. And it does change as you get older. Like you might have reflected on something 10 years ago and you thought one way about it, and then a decade later you're like, oh, I see something else that I can learn from that situation. It's interesting how when you're a constant learner and a constant reflector, how it changes. I just had a whole bunch of cards just flop out of the deck, so that's not helpful. So, Spirit, what do you want people to work on this week? Whoever comes upon this video, when you come upon it, you come upon it. Just because it's one day Oh, I have one flip out finally. Yay. So what are we doing? Dissolving judgments. Are we being a little too judgy out there? There's a whole lot of judgments going on right now in the world. So the back says, I don't have to like the actions of others in order to love my journey. I don't have to like the actions of others in order to love my journey. Think about that for a minute. Burp to confirm that that's a good topic for the week. Let's see what the book has to say. I almost went right to the page. When judgments are dissolved, you don't have to enjoy the actions of others in order to glean benefit from them. When you know that every moment has been created to help each soul shine the brightest, it becomes easier to not take things personally. Instead, you are able to appreciate the positions life has put you in as evidence of your evolving mastery in form. This mantra is ideal for learning to speak your truth, cultivating empathy, and trusting the universe. Trusting the universe is a big thing that I deal with a lot. Because I'm still, every once in a while, struggling with the worry and the trust and the impatience. Like I said, life is a journey. Okay, let's dive deep a little more into this and just talk about it. Obviously, don't substitute my opinions for your own. I'm here just to make you think about things, look at things differently, maybe open up a different perspective. I mean, that's all I'm here to do. You may be wiser than I am. I don't claim to be this guru in life in general, because like I said, I'm a spiritual person having human experiences just like you are. So I'm learning as I go, and like I said, when I look at things from a different age, different decade, I think about things differently from decade to decade. Not that I totally dismiss what I thought in my 40s versus what I'm thinking now in my 50s, because it's still true, but there might be a little more added nuance that I discover when I look at these things. So judgment is something that humans do a lot of. And I feel that it's not exactly great to be judgmental. It's kind of like expectations. If you have too many, you tend to close off things in your life, and judgment's the same way. If somebody does something and you look at it like, well, I wouldn't do it that way, and that's fine. Let the person do it the way they do it. If they ask you for help or advice, give the best you can. But judging is not really going to help you in the long run, because people have to go through their own experiences in life to learn things. And sometimes it's hard when you look at people and you're like, why are they doing that? That is so not helpful to their journey. But they have to go through it. We all have to learn from our mishaps. Because I don't like the word mistake. Mistake is like you did something completely wrong. But if you're doing it in the learning process, I'm not talking about like molesting people, killing, none of that type of thing. Just your day-to-day stuff. But what you can learn from judging somebody else, this is the positive part of it, is learning that the way they did it might not be such a good idea. Or if you actually concurred the way they did it, you can glean experience from that. you could say, wow, I was wrong with that too, because I would have done the same thing that person did. But now I know why that might not work. Or why, if they said that, how other people might react to it and cause a conflict, cause adversity. Like last week's topic was on adversity. And a lot of people don't like conflict, so I'm definitely an observer. I observe what people do, what they say, even look at what's coming out of their mouth versus what their body is saying. That's always an interesting, because sometimes they're not there's no congruence there between the two. And I learn a lot that way from watching other people's experiences and looking at my own, especially if there's some similarities based on that. So think about it that way. And to be judgmental over somebody because, well, if they would have done this, they wouldn't be struggling in this area. But depending on what your belief system is, I believe that we pick and choose before we're born what we want to struggle with in life for learning experience, for evolution. And if you watch any of my other videos, I've said, yeah, I think I picked enough for a few lifetimes in this iteration of my life that I'm ready to evolve on to being somebody's spirit guide at this point. Because you sit back and you think, well, why would I choose that? I mean, some of the difficulties, if you know anything about my past, I did a video way early on when I started this channel back in February and March. And I told my story. And it's like, why would I choose that? And I just saw a post, one of my Facebook friends posted about children and suffering. Why do they have to go through that? But if you believe that that was chosen, that's the experience that the soul wanted to go through. I mean, it's still hard as a human to think that you would choose something like you would choose that kind of pain and suffering. But there might be a reason that we as humans just don't understand. There's a lot we don't understand. And what we go through helps us with some of the understanding, but there's still, like, when you're a human versus when you're in your soul form, it's different. You have a higher knowledge than we do as humans. So that's what I try to remember and say that, well, this is what I believe, so this is how it fits. So, judgments. Do you think you're judgmental? Most of us are judgmental. There's varying degrees of it. I mean, I'll say something about somebody or a situation and I'll just let it go. It's not, I'm judging it, but I'm not taking it to heart. I'm just kind of like, okay, that's what they're doing. I know for me, as I wish I wasn't working for other people, I get very judgy because I'm like, why are we doing it this way? This makes absolutely no sense. Because I'm very logical, that IT background and dealing with being efficient in your workflow. So when I see certain things at work, I get so mad and judgy. Like, why are we doing this? And I'm giving you ways to resolve certain things and you're just ignoring it. And it's not about me, it's about all of us in it together trying to make it work right and make it more efficient instead of just pounding our heads against the wall, doing the same thing over and over again. That's, Einstein's definition of insanity. And I don't want to do insanity. Maybe when I was 20 years old and didn't know any better, sure. But then I have to sit back and like, okay, this is the process. Just have to keep going. Keep doing it the way they want it done. I still am conflicted about those kind of things. I'm trying to just do it. Clock in, do the work, clock out, be done, go home and do what I want to do. So if you have any reflections of your own about dissolving judgments, put it in the comments. I'd like to hear what your thoughts are. Like I said, I'm not a guru on judgments. I'm not a guru in life in general. I just am sharing what I've seen, what I've experienced, what makes sense to me, what works for me in my life, or doesn't work sometimes even. That I learn something new. But I like to have these conversations because I like to see other people's perspectives, if I can even say the word. Because we all have perspectives. We've all had different experiences in life that lead us to different conclusions. And I find it very interesting to have a new way of looking at something. I may need to add it to my life, or I may just remember it in case something like that comes up, and I'll be like, well, let's try it this way this time. So-and-so said this, and that may work. So I like to gather all information. Like research. Life is always like research to me. You know, when I was still in college, I had to do research on borderline personality disorder. So I go out and look at the research. Plus the fact that I had experience with that because my mother has borderline personality disorder. Because I lived living with somebody with it. I don't have it, thank God. But I could have. Because borderline personality disorders are created. That's not nature. Interesting disorder. I was just talking to my friend about. I asked her, like, because she was talking about somebody in particular, and I'm like, are you sure they might not have borderline personality disorder or maybe on the spectrum? I mean, a lot of these behaviors seem to fall under that. I just put my analytical counseling hat on, because I've lived it, I've seen it. So yeah. And one thing I didn't say is, yes, I introduced who I was, but if you would like and subscribe, that would be really helpful. And if you want to donate, like the price of a cup of coffee to help a gal out, help me out with this content. I do have a PayPal account, the Crystal Center of Healing. That would be much, much appreciated. So yeah. Let's do a guided meditation, which is always part of my videos. And we'll take the theme judgments and we'll do a meditation on that. So, if you would get comfortable. This shirt's bothering me. Talk about getting comfortable. Hopefully you're in your self-care space when you're watching my videos. So you're ready to go into the guided meditation, because I know time is important and of the essence if you're trying to fit your self-care in. And I consider what I do in talking about these topics in this meditation as part of your self-help, your self-care, which is very important. You need to take a little bit of time for yourself every day if possible. Try to tell people at work, because I coordinate the meditation group at work. And when I send out the invitation, even though it's not everybody that works where I work, it's just whoever wants to be part of it, but I try to, put in a little tagline, take time for your self-care. We do 15 minutes, which is nothing in a 8-hour day. So if you're in a chair, make sure you're sitting upright and you're not all bent over in a weird way. Both feet flat on the floor. If you're in an armchair, you can have your arms at the side. I always just say, just cup them in your lap. And hopefully you cleared your space. If not, you could do it real quickly by visualizing a white sheet on the floor and raising it up. And as it's raising up to the heavens, it's taking all the low frequency vibrational stuff with it. We don't want any bad stuff attached to you, around you. Just keep letting it raise from the ground, up, up, up in the air. Allow the spirit helpers to take that sheet away with all that stuff that you don't need around. And for many of the topics that I talk about, it's very important that we ground, because grounding to the earth really helps you not be scrambled. I think it helps you make better choices. I think it helps with anxiety. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a heaven and earth. We're going to bring both energies into your body. So with your eyes closed or lower your gaze, raise 300 feet above the air, above you, higher up into the heavens where your star is. This is the star just for you. And don't worry about the 300 feet thing. Your consciousness will automatically go up where it needs to go. To see your beautiful star, just notice what color it is, how brightly it's shining. And you want to pull down that energy from your star. So visualize the channel of light coming towards your head. Notice how pure it is and that you're safe taking in this beautiful light, and let it penetrate the top of your head. So it's gone through your crown chakra, down to your third eye, which is right here. That big column of light is filling up every part of your being as it travels down to your throat chakra, which is right here. And let it fill you up. Bring it down to your heart chakra. You may feel, as it's coming down, you may feel your chakras opening up. Heart is usually the easier one to notice if it's opening. Your heart and your solar plexus seem to be the two that, because your solar plexus is where you get that gut feeling from. So let's bring it down into the solar plexus as it's continuing to fill up every cell of your body as it's coming down. Then bring it down to your sacral chakra, which is right near your belly button. Down to your root chakra, which is at the base of your spine. through your legs. And we're going to take it the whole way down to your feet. And we're going to allow it to shoot out the bottom of your feet as if you're growing roots out of your feet into the earth. Really ground yourself into the earth. We're going to go through the layers of earth, grass, and dirt, rock, sand. There may be water. We're going to go the whole way down to the middle of the earth, where you might sense or see a pool of cool water, or it could be a crystal gemstone. But just feel into that for a moment. And then you want to bring that energy back up through all the layers of the earth, back to your feet, up your legs, into the root chakra, your sacral chakra, your solar plexus, into your heart. Let the energy of heaven and earth completely fill your body. Just like you have two hoses, one connected to the top of your head, one to the bottom of your feet, and you're just letting all that energy mix and mingle in your body, feeling it up right down into your cellular network. Now let it out into your aura or your biofield. Just let it permeate out from you. Filling your entire aura up with this brilliant, crystalline, healing energy. You should feel relaxed. Your chakras should all be spinning clockwise and displaying the brilliant color that they each are. You may feel the unconditional love from heaven and earth, opening your heart chakra wide up and allowing you to receive this love, this healing, this beautiful energy. Allowing you to balance and align with the energies of heaven and earth. Now that we're balanced and aligned with the energies of unconditional love, I want you to think about a time that maybe you were harshly judged by somebody. Just pick the one that first pops into your head, that's probably the one that you think about the most, that you might have certain feelings about, strong feelings. And we're going to allow all this unconditional love and balancing energy to dissolve that judgment. So if you want to just visualize the scene and allow this energy to come in and just wipe it away. Or you could put this judgment, this memory of judgment, in a box. And let the energy either take it away or dissolve it, somehow transmute it into something else. Maybe take a look at the memory and what can you take away from it now that you're in a space of unconditional love. Maybe you can choose to look at it differently. But I want you to get to a place where you can let this particular judgment go, so it's not in your field anymore. Now I want you to just scan your body and see if there's any resistance anywhere, if there's anything in your body that feels like you can't let go of this, like it's stuck somewhere. It could be stuck in your shoulder, in your stomach, just in your head. And wherever it may be stuck, just take the energy that you're getting from heaven and earth and blast the heck out of it. Let it dissolve. Let this higher vibration transmute it into a higher frequency. Whatever works for you, whatever I'm saying, that if I say it and you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to do that, go with it. There's many ways of doing this, and I want it to work for you. Another way we could get rid of this is we could call upon Archangel Michael to come in with his sword of light or sword of fire, depending on how you see it or sense it, and have him get rid of it. Have him cut it or transmute it with his sword. He might even be able to give you a different perspective on this particular memory. He'll give you some tough love, that's for sure. I love Archangel Michael. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. He's helped me a lot over the years. Now I want you to think of this memory again. And notice how you feel about it now. Has your perspective changed? Are you able to look at it with more clarity? Maybe forgiveness? Maybe you look at it and you don't feel any emotion towards it anymore. And if you're still feeling something in particular, you still feel it's stuck in your body, go through whatever you went through again. Just rinse and repeat, basically, until you don't feel angry or judgmental, even though it might be a judgment against you about it anymore. Can you say to it now, thank you for the lesson? from it. Where you don't have any guilt, there's no shame, there's no anger. It just is what it is. Now it's just a memory. And you can take away lessons from it. That's where I want you to get to. So if you're still stuck with it, just rewatch and listen or re-listen to this meditation to help you move through it. And you might want to do it again just to use it with another memory that you're struggling with that's from your past that keeps haunting you. So when you're ready, come back. Come back with clarity, forgiveness, unconditional love, healing, joy, happiness. And open your eyes when you're ready. So like I was saying, if you need to go back in and work on this memory some more, just re-listen to the guided meditation portion of this, or even the whole thing. Just now that you've gone through it, you can go back and listen to the things that I brought up and reflect on it some more, maybe even journal. I know I say that a lot, but journaling, when you take pen to paper, sometimes things come out you don't even realize that were there. It helps you get a little more clarity on the situation and maybe exactly all the feelings that are there. Sometimes you're stuck on one particular feeling, but you realize there are a lot of layers with it. So journaling helps get some of that out, especially if you ask yourself certain questions about it, like, how am I feeling about this now? What did I feel about it? What are the lessons that I can take away from this particular situation? How does it lead to my growth? Even how can I next time deal with it better? Just ask yourself questions like that, as if you're giving advice to somebody else, possibly. Sometimes when you take it out of yourself and pretend this is your friend Crystal. How would you give advice to Crystal if Crystal came to you and told you this situation and how she was feeling about it? What would you tell her to do? How would you tell her to move through it, to deal with it, to let it go? That's usually the easiest way of dealing with a situation, is take yourself out of it and look at it from fresh eyes, from a different perspective, from a higher perspective. Call in Archangel Michael, call in Jesus, call in God, the universe, source, whoever you affiliate yourself with spiritually. Like, help me see this differently, type thing. You could do this with lots of situations in your life. I always like to do like an autopsy or debriefing in certain situations after some time has passed. Look at it, dissect it. How did I react? Could I have reacted differently? Could I have reacted better? Could I have handled it better? Could I have said things differently? Could I have behaved differently? Could there have been a better outcome? I know my therapist went through this with me, like, that person couldn't have done it any differently because of who they are. I'm like, okay. Because he'll ask me, could they have done it any differently? And I'd have to say, no. And why is that? Because that's who they are. Okay. You can control other people, that's fine. You can only control your reaction to things. And it's sometimes important to go back and look and, like, Look at that person, look at who you are, and how you both reacted to it. Because we don't have to walk around angry. And anger is one of those top emotions. There's a lot of things that are associated, like fear and frustration. So it's a layered type of emotion. So, like I said, journal, ask yourself the important questions, and see where you can help yourself move on from it. And with that, I hope you have a great week. I hope you continue with your healing and your self-care, because you deserve it. Life can be better. Life's not always going to be awesome. It's the way it is, because you're dealing with not only whatever you have in you, but what others are walking around with too. I have to think about that a lot. Like, what is this person walking around with? And that's why they reacted the way they did. Doesn't make it right, especially if they're doing things that are ticking a lot of people off. But you do have to take that into consideration. Like I said, doesn't make it right. They need to work on their behaviors. But you can handle it better. Right? Keep working on your self-care. And like I said, there's lots of ways of dealing with your self-care. It's not just about diet and exercise. There's a whole lot of stuff going on. You work on yourself spiritually, or if you're religious. Choose to evolve. Choose to heal. Choose unconditional love. It will help. Thank you for joining me. I'm Crystal from the Crystal Center of Healing. Like and subscribe. Send me a donation through my PayPal for a price of a cup of coffee at the Crystal Center of Healing. And I will see you next time. Take care.